ช่วงที่ 2 ของ Education Today ได้รับเกียรติจากมิสเตอร์เจฟฟี่ซีฮัมมิลตัน Director of Startup ที่มาร่วมพูดคุยและให้ความรู้เกี่ยวกับ Startup กับการศึกษาในระดับมหาวิทยาลัยจะเป็นอย่างไรนั้นไปติดตามชมกันค่ะ
So Thailand has positioned itself to be the center of science innovation driven for the economy and a center for startup in the Asia Pacific region. Do you think that's going to happen?
I definitely think it will happen. I do lots of work with different technology clusters, different divisions of the government, and there's a huge effort to make this happen. There's plenty of support. It's really, really exciting for me. Coming from the United States to Thailand, I moved here because I specifically see and believe in that opportunity. And globally, I would say these are kind of revolutionary times. So the way we design, develop, and manufacture products is all changing. The way companies innovate and try to reach new markets is all changing. So I think that paired with the fact that I would say the most creative people in Asia are in Thailand.
So you think
based on my work experience.
It's the right timing for Thailand.
Yes, I would definitely say it's the right timing. Yes, definitely.
What about at a smaller scale, the university scale? Do you think it's important to start here, or
yes?
Because many universities are doing startup programs, both successful and unsuccessful. But from your experience, what's your viewpoint?
I would say the university is the perfect place. Especially a private university like Rangsit University. We, I would say, are more dynamic, we have more flexibility and more freedom to make moves, whereas the government universities have strict protocols that they have to follow.
Right.
And I would also say we have all of the resources that people need, like what it takes in terms of human power. We have great teachers, great students, and also the facilities that are on the universities, all the equipment, all the tools and anything you would need, the computing power, we have the ability to pretty much launch anything we would want.
So if a student at a university wants to be a business owner, want to start up something, he has great ideas, what would be your recommendation?
My recommendation would be set a goal and don't stop until you get there. So we read about success stories, but we don't read about how difficult it is to achieve that level of success. Going forward a little bit at a time is better than stopping. Never give up. Align yourself with the right people and set the goal and keep going. Your initial responsibility is to bring that idea to life in the most minimal way possible. The least amount of money, the least amount of time, the least amount of resources invested to get something that people can evaluate, collect feedback. And your future investments should be improving that based on the feedback.
So for example, if you have a really great idea, it does not mean that it would necessarily sell.
Correct.
In the market.
Right. We see many businesses try to launch new products. The quantitative data, the numbers, the market share, they believe it's really successful. Big companies make huge investments to try to launch a new product, and that product doesn't really succeed. So there's strategic ways to navigate this to help ensure success, especially for startups.
Does meeting the right people count?
Meeting the right people, I would say, is maybe 90% of it, right? Having the right people not only on your team and developing with you, but having the right mentors, having people who can make the right introductions for you, and making sure that you are selling the right product to the right customer.
And you've recently taken on this new role of leading the startup.
Yes, very excited about that.
Which is called DevHub.
DevHub,
Do you want to introduce us to that?
Okay, so DevHub right now, we have recruited and hired some really fantastic, dynamic people who are going to support the different startup groups in the university. We are meeting with the different deans of the different faculties. We are seeing what kind of projects or technology they have in their department, and we're measuring the level of interest with students. And soon we will begin to start hosting events where students will pitch their ideas to venture capital firms and keep trying to climb the levels of success until their products are commercialized.
What is your role, though?
My role is kind of facilitator and conductor.
Yeah.
So I will not only help teach and coach and train the teams, but I will bring venture capital firms to meet these teams. I will be kind of the conduit of launch and success. So right now we're talking with venture capital firms in Singapore, Hong Kong, China, and then some of my relationships in the United States. So there's lots of interest building for this, for the DevHub.
Many universities, besides Rangsit universities, are also starting their own startups, some with more experience. What do you see as a successful, the competitive advantage that Rangsit has over other universities, if any, of course?
I see the competitive advantage in being a private university. The public universities, they're great schools, they have great teachers, great students, but the system that operates these schools tends to be very slow, very bureaucratic. And us being a private university, we have the ability to make moves faster. We have the ability to recruit and do things with the outside world, I would say, a bit more smoothly.
Right.
This is more attractive for private companies. This is more attractive for venture capital firms because we are, I would, lack of a better term, we're more easy to do business with.
And easier to access as well.
Yeah, easier access.
So for example, in 10 years, what do you see startup in Thailand to be? What is that?
In 10 years' time, I see startups in Thailand contributing for a major part of the economy.
I see. In what sector in particular?
I come from a medical background,
okay.
so I think medical is going to be huge. And it's one of the components of Thailand 4.0. So Thailand is #1 in the region for healthcare. Thailand is #1 in the entire world for medical tourism. And Thailand imports roughly 90% of its medical supplies.
Okay.
So there is a tremendous push to develop medical products, to become a medical product development hub. And when I say products, it doesn't necessarily have to be something physical. It could be a service as well. It could be a component of technology. And in ICT, information and communications technologies, not only is it an amazing industry on its own, but when you pair that with the medical community, that creates lots of really new, really exciting opportunities.
Any particular business startups that you have a hands-on experience with in Thailand relating to the medical industry?
So for that, I've met lots of amazing, great people in all different technology clusters in and around Thailand. I've met amazing companies, and I've worked in a number of the different universities. I've had kind of a bird's eye view of the startup community, and it's really, really exciting times. There's kind of an energy. R&D is still new to Thailand, and the people working in this space are really creative, really exciting people to work with on all levels.
So there's a lot of potential for Thailand. That's
lots
great
of
to
potential,
hear.
yes. And the government is giving the right amount of support. We need more support from the private sector in Thailand. Right now, there's kind of a misconception where some startups are trying to rely solely on the government funding that they receive or support from the technology clusters. There needs to be, I would say, equal support coming from the private sector. Lots of the big companies in Thailand typically make very small incremental changes with regard to innovation. But that leaves lots of room wide open for the startups. You can innovate big and fast. You can become very successful very quickly.
Any last words you want to say about the startup in Thailand and make them successful, or anybody who's looking into doing their own startups?
I think I would go back to no matter what, don't quit.
Don't quit.
Set a goal and don't quit. You can adapt, you can be flexible, you can change your plan, you can change your strategy, but don't change your goal and don't quit. Work with amazing people, love what you do, have passion for what you do, and you will be successful.
Right.
หลายคนคงได้ยินคำว่าสตาร์ทอัพกันมาเป็นระยะเวลาพอสมควรแล้วทั้งในและต่างประเทศและในประเทศไทยปัจจุบันก็กำลังผลักดันให้เกิดสตาร์ทอัพใหม่ๆเพราะเชื่อว่าสตาร์ทอัพจะเป็นอีกหนึ่งกลไกที่จะช่วยผลักดันประเทศไทยไปสู่ประเทศไทย 4.0 เช่นเดียวกับในประเทศอื่นๆทั่วโลกที่พยายามขับเคลื่อนเรื่องสตาร์ทอัพเช่นเดียวกันรายการ Education Today หมดเวลาลงแล้วพบกันได้ใหม่ในสัปดาห์หน้าทุกวันเสาร์เวลา 10 นาฬิกาถึง 10 นาฬิกา 30 นาทีทางสถานีโทรทัศน์ News 1และนี่คืออีกหนึ่งรายการคุณภาพจาก RSU Wisdom TV ทีวีแห่งมหาวิทยาลัยรังสิต